Everyone, so today I want to give you guys a walkthrough of our pergola that we just put up. So this is the Erommy 10 by 20 model, and on their website as of May 2025 they actually have two different versions of this. So as you can see right over here, these right here are the handles that you use to turn the louvers right up top. In the newer versions, my understanding is there's now a slider that slides up like that, and then you'd be able to use that to change the louvers. That was the one that I was hoping to get, but on the website it basically says it's randomly shipped out. So this is the older model, but I just wanted to give you all a view of what it looked like to be inside of the pergola. So a lot of the reviews that I've seen online for this, I haven't seen anybody from Arizona use one of these yet. And so I guess for me the question was, are the shades, the pull downs, if they're good enough to use for to block out the sun. And my first comment, the first comment that my girlfriend had once we put these up, was that these were not dark enough for her. So as you can see, that they are a light tan, and right now it's almost going to be 12. So this is what the sun would look like at the moment. And let me back up. So that's what it looks like. Being out in Arizona, anytime you can get in the shade, it definitely feels a lot cooler in the shade. So even with these, even though it's not completely blacking out the sun, it still feels very comfortable in here. Also, it is easy to use this little handle here to turn the louvers, and they do go completely flat as well. I should say the louvers go completely flat. I didn't have a ton of issues putting this up. I would say the only thing that gave us a really hard time was putting in the screws up here in the corner. It wasn't lining up very well, so we had to basically kind of shimmy it all together, twist it, turn it until all the screws eventually fit. The screws are soft as well, so be careful with that. It's very easy to strip the screws, so be careful with that. Also, one small mistake that I made, I don't know if you can see that up there, but when I put this cross beam in, I actually installed it upside down. So the louvers right here couldn't basically fold flat with that cross member. So I did have to flip that around. So if you're putting yours up, make sure it looks like that. Let me scroll back out. Also, these are very easy to pull down, and then it's very effortless. Push these back up. Well, as you can see, it's hitting that little rod that you use to change the louvers. Also, when I was putting this up, I haven't mounted this yet to the base. I wanted to make sure that before I mounted this, that everything was nice and square and that it was really easy to pull the shades down. So maybe that's something that you want to consider as well when you're putting this up, is to basically square it and mount it at the end once you've tested to make sure that all of these louvers can go down. What else? There is a lot of tape. I will say that Erommy, they try to do a good job of putting tape on everything so that it doesn't get scratched. But basically, all of these louvers will come in 3 total boxes just for the louvers, and then every piece has tape on each side. Yesterday I missed this when we were putting it together, but there's tape on this little edge right here as well. So you're going to have a lot of tape, and it is very sticky. One other thing that I didn't see from the installation videos, from the install videos, was how the actual track for the cassettes go on. So basically this right here was going to come as one piece, and then right here there's holes that are already pre-drilled for you, and these screws are actually self-tappers. So on the actual column here, there is no actual hole for this to go into. So you're basically going to use the self-tapping screw to mount straight into this. Also at the very bottom here, as you can see, there's actually that little plastic piece. Mine actually fell off And I was curious, I didn't know where that went. So as you can see, that's where it's going to go. And it's just a little plastic piece that conforms to the base. As you can see, I'm mounting this over artificial turf, and then over there, the corners actually get mounted onto a metal plate, and then the metal plate is actually attached to, they call them helical piles, which is basically an auger that you screw straight into the ground. So instead of using, concrete footers, I'm actually just using, in all four cases, a 2-foot a 2-foot auger that you screw straight into the ground, and then the metal plate attaches to that, and then the pergola attaches to the metal plate. So I'm going to be finishing off the install of that today. And then what I'm going to do next is I'll show you what this looks like once it starts to rain, where all the water goes. So right up here, there's actually two holes that go down for this center channel. Goes all the way down there. And then there's also a hose up there in the corner, and then it leaks right down here to the base, and that's where the water goes. And I'll show you all what that looks like. I'll also test as well, like sprinkling water on the fabric to see if water will actually go inside. I'm sure it probably will eventually if it rains long enough, but what we can test it out as well to see if maybe a side wind of rain is going to make its way into here. There's still more work to do. Obviously, as you can see, we still got to pick out the furniture that we want. But for right now, this is what the Erommy looks like. It did actually take me a few weeks to put this together. I had an issue with the original augers that I bought. I bought 3-foot augers, and I don't know if you could see it over there, but there's a little metal post in the ground. That's for a sunshade that we had put in. I tried testing the 3-footer over there, and I could barely get it 2 feet into the ground, even with the 40-volt drill that I bought. So I ended up going with 2-footers because out here in Arizona we have something called loamy soil. So it's like very fine, but you can also run into something called caliche, which is a natural concrete that forms. Luckily for us, when we had the pool put in, we didn't run into any caliche. But the soil over there was really hard, and I could barely get in with a 3-foot auger, so I ended up going with 2-foot augers, which should be more than enough for uplift resistance. Meaning, if it gets really windy here, which when it does rain here in Arizona, we get crazy thunderstorms. So there is some lift resistance with that, and then there's also going to be the lateral movement of the pergola, so that if there is enough wind, it basically doesn't blow it into the house. It's going to be mounted to the ground there. A lot cheaper, and I didn't want those semi-permanent, concrete footers in the ground. We are probably going to be getting rid of this artificial turf in a few years. So I mean, it looks nice for now, but I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear the crunch of the artificial turf. So yeah, just kind of looking to get rid of that. What else do you need to know? I think we talked about it's really easy to pull the shades down. I love that we picked out ones with shades on all sides. I was going to buy the cheaper version, the one that had the curtains, but I didn't want the curtains flapping around in the wind all the time. And so I just sprang for the extra money to do these ones that have the shades on all sides, and I think it was the right way to go. Because even right now, I don't know, it's probably getting up to 80 degrees. It's almost noon here in Arizona, and yeah, it's already starting to get hot. But having this shade here is really nice. Already thinking about where I'm going to mount the TV. I'm thinking about mounting a TV right here. More than likely, we're going to put our sitting spot over here with the fire table right here, and we'll go look at some furniture today so we can finally finish this project off. This one's been something that we've been wanting to do since we moved out here in Arizona. What else? How long total did it take me to install all of this? Uh, so I did do this over a few days. The actual install itself of putting the pergola up, it did actually take me a few days. Like I said, it's getting hot here in Arizona, so I'd come out here and we'd work for a few hours. It was a lot easier to actually stand up the pergola itself. So you first start with the base. I should say the base, the roof, basically, and then you raise that up. And you will need two people. I did find that I thought about doing it myself, but my girlfriend ended up coming out here and helping me, and it was obviously much easier with two people. I did install the louvers for the most part myself, so that is doable on your own. Each of the pieces, I did find that each of the pieces are very light. So the boxes themselves are anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds, and there's a total of 7 boxes, so keep that in mind. And for the most part, we carried each piece to the back, so we didn't carry all 100 pounds to the back. My delivery driver was awesome. He actually carried everything into the garage for me. The man was a beast. And he did that all by himself, and I did tip him very well as well. What else? I think that's about it. Let me actually, one thing I do want to say, I don't know if you're going to hear this or not. All right, it's not 100% completely solid. All right, it's not like one of those luxury pergolas that are like 20,000 bucks each and made out of like very thick steel. This is light aluminum. Like I said, each piece is very light. It's manageable on your own. And I think in total, once everything is installed, it weighs, I think, like 750 pounds. So it's still pretty light for considering this is 10 feet wide by 20 feet long. And let me go outside as well, and we'll show you what it looks like from the outside looking in. Some other little details that I want to point out. I don't know if you can see that, but there's actually a little small rubber piece, and that so when this is going all the way up, it doesn't basically clank on the metal piece there. It's got some rubber to bump into. Like I said, I live in Arizona. I'm not sure how long the adhesive is going to last on those with the heat that we have out here. And I don't know if you remember me saying there's a lot of plastic on this. As I was actually making a video, I noticed that I also forgot to take off some plastic here as well. Like I said, there's plastic everywhere. All right, we're gonna test out spraying this with water, and I'm gonna try doing this one-handed. So I'll go in the middle and we'll see where the water goes. Now I'm getting wet. See if that's good enough. There it is. As you can see, the water leaking. There is a channel up there, so if you live somewhere in the Midwest where you get a lot of foliage, you want to check that out. And then this is where the water is going. That's how it gets the water out of there. I don't see any leaks anywhere. I don't see any leaks up here. You can hear the water moving up. All right, now let's test the inside to see if it lets water through these through the sunshades. All right, so if you watch the results of that, as you can see, water does in fact go through. The foam got pretty wet, but this is what the outside looks like. As you can see, it does bead up. Um, these are very tightly knitted together, so it looks like it would block a lot of mosquitoes from getting through. But as you can see, water does and can actually get into the inside. I actually used two different settings. One was the shower settings first, and then the second one was the jet setting. So not sure when this when the water started getting through, if it was with the jet setting. But yeah, so if you get a strong enough wind, it'll definitely let water through. All right, so also forgot to do a video what it looks like with all the shades up, and that's what it looks like with the shades up. And then I also have all the louvers down, so they're it's completely blocking out the sun from the on the roof there. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Might have to do a little bit of decorating there, but overall I think it looks really awesome. All right, so that's what it looks like with all the side shades down. It's definitely going to be nice to have during summertime, that's for sure. And this thing, I believe, goes up 7 feet 9 inches. So it doesn't quite go over the top of our window, but that's okay. It gives us more shade on the inside. But yeah, that's what the Erommy Pergola 10 by 20 looks like. If you'd like to pick one up, if you do use my link in the description, I do get a small affiliate commission. So again, if you do use my link, I very much appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching my video. Take care.